Okay, I got most of his body pulled. I know there's still some more hair that probably needs to be pulled out, but I will address it as I come to it. But for the most part, I rolled his whole body all the way down to his hips, and I've pulled out everything that seemed like it needed to come out. The long pieces are out, the old ugly pieces of hair are out. Now I'm going to start working on his belly and his chest and under his neck. Under his chin and on his neck. And what I'm about to do, I'm doing with an electric trimmer. I don't recommend doing this unless you're very comfortable with it. I do it because it just makes it a lot easier. This is a tender area. I don't like pulling this hair, and it goes a lot quicker with the trimmer if they cooperate. They don't like the noise sometimes and they kind of freak out, but he's kind of over that stage, I hope. And we'll see. As I'm standing here, I'm seeing some long hair that needs to be pulled. It's a never-ending battle. But anyway, the next step I'm using is an electric trimmer, and the blade size, the blade that I have on here is the 7FC. I'm going to see how that works. I might go down to the 10, but for now I'm using the 7 to be on the safe side. Start with his neck and work up to his chin just to get all this. I'm only staying underneath. I do not go on the top. I do not use the clippers on the top of the dogs at all. I only do the underneath them. He's not really liking this, but he's cooperating a little bit. And I go to his chin because I like to keep the beard. I'll clean up the beard area later with some scissors in my hands as well. But anyway, I addressed his neck. Kind of go to where that crease is at. Clean it up, get it nice and cleaned up. Now the next thing I'm going to do is I'm going to try to address anything underneath that needs to be cleaned up. A lot of the times I have Greg help me with this. He'll hold them up for me and open up their arms. What I'm going to do, since I'm by myself, I'm going to lay him down on his back and try to do some of this with him laying down. Hurt him or scare him, but I want to get all this fuzzy stuff. He's got a lot of fuzzy, ugly hair underneath that needs to be shaved down. I get all of it in his armpits, all along his leg, backs of his leg. Seems to be cooperating for the most part. Again, I don't like doing this with a dog laying down, but for Haas it works. I don't like using my sling when I need to do all the body because it's hard to maneuver. I have a saddle over here. I've just been too lazy to set him up on that. It's working like this for now. He's letting me, so he actually seems to be enjoying it. I think he's got his eyes closed. Let me roll you this way, bud. See this side? No, this way. There we go. Doing the back of his leg, starting at his elbow and going up. I go both directions. He's got some crazy hair, so each dog is a little different. You learn how your dog's hair and coat grows, and you kind of let them guide you with the directions and the techniques and the tools. One thing about grooming your dogs, you really do get to see how their skin looks, if they've got any ticks or fleas. And I'm noticing that my little boy here has some dry skin, so I'm going to have to address that issue with him. You don't normally notice things like that with them just running around. But luckily we haven't had any issues with fleas or ticks. Not yet. So that's good. Okay, you're gonna need to stand up. Stand up, bud. All right, so I've cleaned up his neck. I've cleaned up his chest area and around his abdomen. I'm gonna try to clean up his rear if he lets me. I like to get their rear end, backs of their legs, and all of their rear end area really cleaned up, so when they use the restroom, it doesn't get all stuck in their long hair, and it really does help them look a lot more put together when they don't have all this fuzzy stuff. So I'm trying to clean him up all around his genital area, anal cavity. I'm not showing him anytime soon, so I'm not really that worried about making a mistake on him. It grows back. Right now it's just about cleaning him up so that his new coat can start coming back. Now I do not pull this area. It's very tender, and this thing just works a lot quicker to clean up. Probably should have showed you a picture of showed him what his butt looked like before I started this, so you can see the difference, but I'll turn him around here in a minute. But if you see, I don't know if you see, I really cleaned up this area right here with the trimmers all along his legs here, all of this underside, all the inside of his thighs, all of this in his anal cavity. I just cleaned up with the trimmer, and I'm seeing long pieces of hair that I want to pull. I mean, all this needs to be pulled out that I missed, but it's a tender spot, so I don't really like to get him too riled up because he does not like it. Neither does Shay. This area is not Shay's favorite spot either. But as he's standing here, I'm seeing those longer pieces, so I'm working on them. Now what I want to do is I'm going to turn him over again, see if I can get the rest of this inner area. Like if you have help, it's a lot easier if someone else. So one thing I do is I stand them up and I hold their legs up, and I just kind of run the trimmer again. It's okay, Hoss. See, he's not liking it. It's okay. It's okay. So I don't know if that's going to work with him. I need my helper. All right, there we go. Good boy. And I just try to get all that fuzzy stuff shaved off. It would probably go a lot quicker if I would have gone with the 10 blade, but I didn't want to get too close to his skin. The 10 probably would have really cleaned him up a lot better, but I'm not going to use the 10 on him because it will go down to the skin. He'll be bald. I'm going to go ahead and address some of the long hairs that I'm seeing on his hips and his that needs to come out. Just using my fingers. See, he's trying to tell me to stop. What's the matter? Does that hurt? So he's cleaned up quite a bit. He's not where I want him to be yet, but for the most part, it's a good start. Definitely a difference as far as how he looked before I started. And I'll continue to work on him with my fingers, pulling the long hair. I do want to clean his face up a little bit, but I'm not sure if he's going to allow me to do that, but I do use this on their head sometimes. Let me see what he does. He may not give me too much grief. I need to change blades. I don't like this 7. I'm going to go with a different blade here. So I'm going to change out my blades, and then I'll come back and I'll address his head with a different set of